Good morning, Abha. It's another beautiful Thursday, and I'm so happy to see you. How are you today?
I'm really good. Really, really good.
Let's have a conversation about something that has been, well, let's be honest, bugging me. And not just recently, but really over, let's say, the course of the last almost 1.5 years. And it's something that I noticed, which is that I am outside. Let's say I'm walking through the mall with my kids, and I am noticing parents who have their children sit in strollers, for example, and the kids are on the phone. Or I am sitting in a cafe, and next to me is a dad who has his toddler with him, and the dad is constantly on the phone, trying to fiddle with one hand, distracting his child, but in the end, his attention is on the phone and it's not on the child. And I'm thinking, how far did we come that we are prioritizing giving our attention to this device rather than giving attention to the people we love and who are with us in that particular moment? So, what I'd like to just have a casual discussion with you over today is really how can we be role models to our children when it comes to the usage of our phones?
It's a tricky one because unfortunately, our whole lives are on the phone. So, let alone work and any emails and all of that formal stuff is accessible through our phone. So, it's hard for us to detach. And I get that. And maybe that's where we can draw a limit depending on our work situation. And we'll come to that. But otherwise, everything else is also on my phone. Like I order groceries on the phone. I speak to my children's school teacher on the phone. The WhatsApp groups are on the phone. The school portal is on my phone. I organize play dates on the phone. I sometimes use ChatGPT on my phone to get stuff done faster. So my children sometimes come to me and say, "Mommy, you're always on the phone." And I'm like, I know, and I wish I didn't have to be, but there are some things that just need to get done. And I'm not talking work. Like I need to order groceries. So now what I did yesterday was when it was grocery ordering day, I sat with my daughter on the phone and I let her pick the groceries. And she was like, "Wow, this is so cool. We're buying groceries on your phone." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are, because I don't have the bandwidth today to go for 3 hours to the supermarket. And you also want to eat noodles and broccoli for dinner tonight. And we don't have any. So I'm ordering them on the phone." So I think I wish I could put my phone aside a lot more. And I am trying really hard to keep my phone away when we are in the mall or when we are doing a play date. Even when I take them for a birthday party and if I'm engaging with the parents, I keep my phone away. When I go with my daughter and son to any play area, I take a book to read rather than my phone. So they see me away from the phone. But otherwise, in day to day, I'm so conscious of my phone usage. And I'm really trying to find the right balance of putting my phone away and using it for when I need it. It's a tricky one, Sabine. I also don't want to judge anybody because, again, we don't know their situation. We don't know why they're on the phone. Our whole lives are on the phone. So I really don't know what the solution is to not using a phone.
I can see the puzzlement on your face. It's amazing to witness your thinking process here right now, which is our lives are on the phone. Now, since I work a lot about with mindset and awareness creation and all of that, the first thing that I would say is, well, that's your choice to have your whole life on the phone. I do understand that there are certain things where people just have the tendency to say, okay, let's organize a WhatsApp group to coordinate the next birthday party. I don't even know how many WhatsApp groups for birthday parties I have on my phone. It's probably more than 50 by now. It's crazy because it's convenient, right? Because everyone is on the phone. Well, if I want to reach them, we're going to do that on WhatsApp. Now, it's my son's birthday in June, a few weeks from now. And the other day we sat down and we wrote paper invitations. And he got to put stickers on his invitations. And my daughter came in and she saw that and she said, "What is this? What are you doing?" And I said, "We are writing invitations." Just on a side note, I went to Borders and I asked for paper invitations, and the lady in the store looked at me like, "What are you looking for?" Because it's such an unusual thing by now to send a paper invitation. But she still had one very old package, and we took that one. Anyways, my daughter saw that and she said, "Oh, this is so nice." And then the next day, my son handed them over to the children in his kindergarten group. And then the parents sent me a WhatsApp message. Well, we're back on the phone. But they were saying, "This is so amazing. I don't even know when I received a paper birthday invitation the other day or the last time." So, this is just one very simple example where you can organize something and take it off your phone, but do it the good old way, old fashioned. And it came with the enjoyment of my son, putting the stickers on these invitations, practicing to write his name underneath every invitation. And it's the same with things like, let's say, grocery shopping. Yes, I understand oftentimes we don't have the time to order this, but we could say our grocery ordering day or buying day is not Wednesday, but we make it a family activity. We go early on a Sunday morning, we buy for the entire week, and then whatever is scarce during the week might just be fresh fruit, vegetables, or milk. Okay, let's order them, that's fine. But we can make it a family experience to go and then just also walk through the aisles and see different foods we've never tried before. Oh, what is that? Have we ever tried that? Let's pick it and see at home if we like that. In all honesty, when we order something online, it's very unlikely that we would actually order something we don't know. But we would go to our preferred foods that we trust. There we are, human as the creature of habit. But we would probably not be very motivated to try something we haven't ordered before. And there are many other things that we can consciously take off the phone. For emails, for example, as well. Yes, I have Outlook on my phone, but this is really only in emergencies because I trained myself to have specific windows of the day where I'm at my laptop during my work hours, and that's when I answer my emails. So this is where I believe it's also important to understand what does a role model for the kids actually do. It's really also about making conscious choices of how I do certain activities. Can I do this with more human connection by sitting down and writing those invitations with my son? Can I do this by going somewhere and actually taking something off the shelves in a store instead of ordering it, for example, also on Amazon? My God, I've ordered so many things on Amazon only to walk into Borders the next day and see that they have it on the shelves. I could have just walked in there, picked it up, and it would have been mine within 2 minutes. Okay, now with Amazon Prime, I only have to wait 12 hours as well. But it's still faster to just go to the shop and take it and pay for it. Those are just a few examples. But it's really all around awareness and also potentially to reconsider for a moment, how much time do we actually have? Does everything happen immediately? If my daughter wants to have a glue stick, can she wait for 2 days to get it on the weekend when we go to the shop and buy it? Or does it have to be here tonight? This is another way how we can educate our children, right? Creating some patience. Not everything has to happen instantly.
100%. And it's all about boundaries for yourself and technology, and also teaching your kids that, just because things are available 24/7 doesn't mean you get them at your beck and call. 100%. It's a lot of being aware and being conscious of your habits and your behaviors, and how can you divert yourself in a way that you maintain the connection with your kids while still not maybe spend too much time on tasks that you may not have the time for. 100%. And it is so convenient. This is the problem. It is just too convenient. Like, I personally don't like going to the supermarket anymore. My daughter loves it. So now my husband will take my daughter to the supermarket on Sundays. And then they go and they buy a whole bunch of stuff they shouldn't be buying. But that's okay. It's an experience. But it does take a good 2.5, 3 hours, hour and a half there, drive there, check out, all of that. And yeah, it's a great experience for the kids. And maybe we should do it more often. You're absolutely right. It's all a choice. It is all a choice. And I think it's so important to sit down and determine next time you pick up your phone when you're with your kids, do I need to pick up my phone right now? Is it really necessary for me to do the grocery order right now? My children just came home from school. Do I really need to check a message that just came through right now? No, it can wait. Do I really need to reply to this email after the kids go to bed? No, I don't. I can do it in the morning. So you're absolutely right. I think a lot is a personal choice, but it's just being very conscious of how we choose what we're doing, when we're doing, and when we're using devices and when we're not using devices. And it saddens me because my daughter, she actually made herself a cardboard phone. And it's a beautiful phone, right? She drew it and she also made herself a cardboard laptop, actually. And she's, drawn all the numbers on it, and it's got stickers and it's got post-it notes, and she even made a mouse for her computer. And she
Oh.
would just sit on it and play with it. And half of me is like, wow, you're so creative. That is so cool. But the other half of me is like, why did you make a laptop and a phone? But again, it's a reflection of my behavior. I'm always on the laptop, I'm always on my phone. So, very mixed feelings there. And also, like sometimes, so we in our home, we have an office. So we have two desks. My desk is here and my husband's desk is next to me. Sometimes when I'm working here, my daughter will just come and pretend to work on my husband's desk. And I'll be like, Ria, what are you doing? Just say, you can sit and draw with me. It's fine. I'm working, but you can draw. And she's like, no, no, I'm working. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, no, I'm working. I'm doing stuff on my computer. And I'm like, this is not your computer and you're not working and it's locked in case you didn't realize. So yeah, it is about being very mindful of our own tech behavior because it does trickle down to our kids. And if we don't have boundaries, our kids won't have boundaries. And if we don't know when to put our phones away, when our kids get phones, whenever, whatever age that may be, they won't do it. And things like at dinner time, we're very conscious, like we don't have phones between 6 and 8 p.m., which is bath, dinner, bed. Both my husband's phone and my phone is away. It is not near us. So we're very conscious there. But then the minute they're in bed, we're on our phones again. So again, the question is, do I have to be on my phone? Do I need to check my message right now? Nothing is urgent. People on emergency call, have emergency ringer, so they can ring if there's an emergency. They will always ring. So yeah, it's hard though. It's very easy to say because I feel like everything is so fast on the phone. It's like you just want to get it done so that you can not have to do it tomorrow, but then something else comes up and fills your to-do list. So I think as AI comes into our lives and more things become possible with it, which means more time spent on the computer, although maybe that frees up more time to do other things, we need to be very conscious that the time we're freeing up because we're doing things quickly on the phone and using AI is not used to be on the phone and using AI.
That is true. I mean, I love what you said about that sense of urgency, right? I mean, to be very honest, when I am sending, let it be an email or WhatsApp message, I'm not expecting the other person to instantly reply to me because I'm also aware that I am not the only person who is interested in that other person. I do not want to expect that I'm the number one priority of that person. Unless it's my husband, that's a different story. But for every other stakeholder. Because I mean, who am I that I would be expecting everyone to be immediately responding to me all the time? And so this is also why I want to send that message to others saying, okay, I received your message. Thank you. I will reply to it when I get to it. And in all honesty, I've never had any problems with anyone just because it took me maybe an hour or two to reply to that person. And I mean, just 1 hour or 2 hours is still not a lot of time that passed between sending a message and replying to it. So it's about coming to terms with your definition of sense of urgency of your availability to other people's messages. If you say it is not my priority to constantly immediately reply to everyone, but it is my priority to spend time off the phone with my children, sitting with them and playing a good old-fashioned board game, for example, or to help my children with their homework, then that should be the boundary. Just like you mentioned it, Abba, it's also all about what are my boundaries and how do they reflect my priorities that I have. I'm going to create boundaries about my priorities. So if my priority is to spend time with my children, real quality time, then everything else, including my phone, is not important in that situation. I can tend to it later, and that doesn't make me a worse person just because I'm not constantly available on my phone.
I think also it depends a lot on perhaps your work situation. If you're working for yourself, maybe it's easier to put those boundaries because you're not answering to anybody else. Whereas if you're in a corporate job, sometimes it can get a bit complex because the expectation could be different from your bosses or your work environment. And of course, that's unique to everybody's situation. But again, it's about really putting your foot down and being able to create a boundary so that you're not expected to reply immediately unless it's really an emergency. The expectation changed when the Blackberries came out. I don't know if you remember that time. I remember many, many years ago, I did not have a BlackBerry at work. And then I was going away for 3 weeks, a much deserved holiday. And the only way I was allowed to go away for 3 weeks was if I had a BlackBerry. So of course, that was a long time ago. Now it's even more so. I can imagine people's work will be demanding and everyone is on the go. It's a very fast-paced environment at the moment. But it just is a reminder that even though you're in a fast-paced environment, what expectations are you setting, whether it's for yourself or in a work environment that is not allowing you to be present without your phone at any time. So again, it's a lot of reflection, it's a lot of self-awareness, and it's a lot of role modeling, what you believe in so that your kids don't follow that as and when they grow up, but definitely easier said than done. So the next time you're on your phone or on your laptop outside of working hours, maybe just take a pause and ask yourself, do I really need to be on my phone and laptop right now? Or can I actually take this time to be present with my family, with my husband, or with myself, just doing something that doesn't require a phone or a laptop? Because at the end of the day, the only person who's really in charge of how we feel, how we think, the things we do, and how we behave is us. And we do have control over that. Although it is very easy to say, it's hard to do, but I think a practice of reflection and really deciding what is important might help you make those decisions in a much better way. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope this encourages you to question whether you need your phone in every situation the next time you pick up your phone outside of a work scenario. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.